Welcome back to One Consciousness. This week I wanted to go back to having a look at a subject that is so close to my heart. All the animals are calling us to action, and that is speeding up at the moment. So there's a few themes that I wanted to cover regarding animal communication and how we communicate with nature as well. So that's the theme for this week. As I mentioned, it's a subject that's very, very close to my own heart, literally. So animal communication is very much its formal name, but in real life, it's the deepening of the bond between us and our animals with the whole of nature. So it's a most natural way of being, the most natural way of being with our animals. And we find our own way of communicating with each other, whether that's through showing each other physically what we want to convey or expressing it through our body language somehow, or sensing from each other what we're trying to express. They are our best friends, and the gift they show us of how to be together in unconditional love is beyond priceless. To experience that together. So even if they are masters of tough love, which I know many of them are, when you get through that exterior to the real essence of who you both are, through the connection in the sacred part of your hearts, it opens up the true meaning of your connection on a soul level. That connection may be to show each other pure love and experience those simple, blissful moments in life together, sharing that experience of oneness together. And those moments together when nothing else exists apart from the two of you, or more than the two of you, in that moment. Such is the power of your soul's heightened and focused presence. And for those on an intense spiritual quest, and I guess that will be many people watching these videos, and now going forward, they will be in ever increasing numbers. The power of the connection with our animals can take us on a much deeper significance still. And I'm drawn to look back at hundreds of years ago in history when the Egyptians worshipped their cats, seeing them as deities. And in mythology from ancient times, there was often reference to winged horses, just to mention a couple of examples. And what did they know then that we don't know now? What these examples do represent is the connection of animals both to heaven and to earth, the earth angels. Fast forward to today, in our very logical world, where we've been taught to focus purely on the logical and to leave our primal feelings behind in the realms of childhood. That deep connection of oneness with animals and nature, where we all bring our strengths to help each other, has somehow translated into humans being the masters and training nature and animals to work for us in some way. And apart from the fact that we have two sides to our brain, the logical and the creative sides, science is now discovering that we also have other brains too, both in our heart and in our gut. And for those of us working with animals and communicating in this natural way, we've known that all along, that is a sacred part that connects us all. So the HeartMath Institute in the US has some really interesting research on heart coherence for anyone who is interested in that. I'll leave a link below for them and a video that they've put out. So anyone working with their horses through their hearts may be especially interested to hear what their findings are. Horses' heart rhythms can detect human emotions, so they know how we are feeling in that moment. And the video that I'll put the link below for has highlighted talks about the symbiotic relationship between horses and humans, focusing on the heart rhythms detected and what these show us. Also, an interesting point to mention here is about the size of horses' brains, their logical, what we would call their intelligent side. The size of their brains is very small in proportion to the size of the horse's body in its entirety, whereas you look at its heart, and there it is massive in proportion to its body. What does that innately tell us about the horse's intelligence, which we all see in the work that they do? So it'll be interesting to have a lot more research into all of animals if you're particularly interested in that logical side and what that can show us. So taking this information together with the knowing and understanding of the sacred part within our own hearts that connects to the oneness and the harmonic chord which I've spoken about in previous videos, maybe it is the rhythms in all of our hearts which connect in to that oneness, and that is where our animals are leading us to now, to once again be in connection with that wholeness within ourselves that connects with the wholeness and the infinity or the infinity of the universe. Thereby we learn how the universe works at a much deeper level, not informed by science, but informed by our togetherness with it and what we can show each other about the part that we play in the whole orchestra of life. So many of our animals are awakening us to this side of ourselves which still exists in all its vibrancy, even though we have been taught to shut it out. As many wake up to these new frequencies that are incoming through the solar flares and many other events taking place in the universe, we will hear the animals calling to us, all so keen to make their own voices heard, to help us to work actively with these energies. The universal process is speeding up, so they may make themselves louder and louder now to get your attention. This may manifest as illness, to draw you in closer to them as you care for them, so they can be with you and help work with your energy, helping to guide you. It may manifest as them being what we would call naughty or unruly. But notice then how quickly they start to calm down completely when you tune in with them and be with them at the level energetically they want you to be in to receive their information. And then you will know what that behavior has been all about. They will share their knowledge with you as you learn to read each other more accurately. My feeling is this will get ever more intense with our animals, particularly as we go through the next 3 to 6 months of this year. Our hearts and how we read other beings in the universe through our hearts will take on increasing significance. That is the true communication we share together, where we are in our hearts with each other. The depth of understanding we share has no limits. It is infinite, and it is our heart rhythms that can take us into understanding the mysteries of the universe and the depth of the part we play in those mysteries. That path for us is one our animals are happy to guide us through. It may well be that our guides come in and are more prominent as well, the more that we go into that deeper communication with our animals. Our guides are also there to help us, to translate, to give us further information. It is all part of the universe and all the different dimensions now, all coming in and merging in together. One theme to mention is many people who say that it's not right to communicate with animals that have been traumatized. My feeling on this is that it's for the animals themselves to say whether it's right for them rather than us. That is my feeling, and that's also my experience. So traumatized people have much to share with the world. We all do. And it all makes up the whole and provides learning, showing us different ways to view experiences. So at least with the animals that we feel are traumatized, it's important to give them a chance to voice their feelings, to give them that platform to be able to be receptive to whatever they may have to say, but always, always make it so clear to them that you're open to everything that they want to share. It may just be that this is the antidote to unlocking the trauma that they have been holding on to, and to bring out the essence of the wholeness of their soul again. Trauma can be separation from the soul and your purpose in this lifetime, or your purpose, your soul purpose, for want of describing it any other way. But if we're always in reverence when communicating at a very deep level with our animals, that heightened level of sensitivity to each other will help guide us in our communication together. We will feel our way through together. No push, no pull, but going with the flow together. And it's so important that all animals and nature wanting their voice to be heard at the moment, that they're all able to do so and to be listened to in this deep way. It's as simple as aligning your heart rhythms together, connecting together with no fear or anxiety about getting it wrong. Just focusing on the moment, on the intention of pure unconditional love and being together. And then being open to what happens in the moment. The rest will take its natural course. For anyone who's interested in getting into animal communication that hasn't done it so far and feels that they do want some help in getting started, there are many animal communication courses available to help you, just to give you that lift up, maybe to help you get that initial connection. What I would say is it's important for you to find your own way of connecting in, no matter how you're taught to actually perform an animal communication or to communicate with animals, however you want to phrase it. It's important to find your own unique blueprint, which you will, just moment by moment, step by step, in your heart. That's the most important thing, to be in your heart and to link in from there with animals and nature. They will help guide you all the way.